just take a second for anyone who is joining to come on. Welcome to Yin Yoga this morning. If you are preparing to practice with us, I would highly recommend grabbing a pillow or two from your bed and a blanket. We will be avoiding the use of blocks today, just to keep it easy for everybody. Message. Alright, so once everyone has their pillows and their blankets, we'll begin to settle in. Today, we are here to practice in alignment with our sacral chakras. So last week we had our root, our safety, our security. And now we're just taking a step up to this sacral area, a little bit, not quite behind the belly button, but down a few inches in the pelvic bowl. And we're just going to begin to bring awareness there with a little rock side to side in our seat, our Sukhasana. Just feeling the weight shifting from right sits bone to left sits bone. And it can be a very subtle movement. And as you exhale, just begin to allow energy to come down into that sacral area, and you may even take the hands there and rest them on the low belly. We're going to begin to move this in a circle. Just choosing a direction and beginning to take those hips in a circle. Allowing this movement to originate from those sits bones and the head and the rib cage and the rest of the body. Just kind of goes with the flow there. And that's what this area is about. It's going with the flow, finding creativity, flexibility. This is known as the seat where she dwells, the seat of the feminine. Creation, enjoyment, and destruction, and rebirth. Switch directions through those circles. How does it feel bringing this awareness into the space? How's the breath as you take your last few circles here? And just allowing it to flow freely. We're not controlling it today, but we are allowing it, as always, to guide us in our choices. And when it's ready for you, just rolling, rocking to center, finding stillness. If the hands are on that low belly, really feel what it's like to have the palms pressing. What's in the space between the fingers. Maybe notice the texture of the clothes you're wearing. How soft or firm that area may feel to you. And we're going to move into a cat-cow. So nice and slow. Just shifting your way onto tabletop. You can always use that blanket under the knees. So aligning hips over knees, shoulders over wrists. Feel those hands spread and settle into the mat. And you might just start by kind of rocking side to side. Maybe lifting the palm and replacing it back down. How does it feel bringing that weight into one hand and the other? Each shoulder engaging and releasing. You may begin to work this into more of a snake-like motion, allowing the shoulders to wave from one side to another, just allowing that to snake down the spine. Don't think about it too much. Really just allowing yourself to get creative here and flowy. If that goes into other movements, find other movements. Cat-cows or barrel rolls. Maybe the fingers switch directions and you play around with how it feels in the forearms there. How's the neck? How is the jaw today? How are the hips? We're going to work towards our first pose. So we're going to lift that right leg up. And that leg is still bent, and you can do this in downward facing as well. We're just going to take some knee circles here, opening that hip. I want you to feel what happens as that leg goes up, that pelvis might tilt forward, and as you bring it back in, it might scoop back under again. Really enjoying the movement here. This chakra is all about enjoyment, embodying joy. So really be there today. Honoring any snap, crackle, pops, tightness, shakes. When that's good for you, we're coming to swan pose. We're bringing the right knee to the right wrist. And just begin to inch yourself settling down into a seat here. And if there's space here under the right hip, it's a great place for more blankets or a pillow. Nice. I'm just going to start by a little rock side to side, really giving ourselves a lot of grace here. It is early in the morning. Early. Keeping the spine long, the face soft. Where can you find enjoyment here? And if it feels good, allowing ourselves to settle down. Maybe you have that pillow, it's a great place to get cozy with it, placing it in front of you and coming down. We're going to take a few big exhales to release fully here. What sensations are coming up in that right side or in that left side? And can you ride the wave and enjoy what is offered in this pose for you? Find 3 more of your deepest, slowest breaths. Can you breathe that inhale all the way into that low belly, into that sacral area, and ride that breath all the way out. 2 more. When that third breath leaves the body, feel the hands move back to the floor beneath you. Breathe your way on up, back, over the hips. A couple ways to come out of this. You can swing the left leg forward into a seat, or you can push your way back into downward facing or tabletop. Yogi's choice, always. You may find it beneficial to stretch that right leg out again. And bring it here for a moment in the middle and just enjoy the reverberations of that asana. How is each side feeling? What's shifted? I'm feeling lightness and flow through that whole right leg. We'll move to the left side. So we're bringing that left leg up from table or downward and taking those little hip circles, feeling into that pelvis and how it moves as the leg does its thing. Adding on or taking away where appropriate for you. Enjoy these movements. Enjoy the heat, the warmth, the shakes. A couple more. And then eventually, left knee towards that left wrist. Make sure it's happy. Tiny little flex in those left toes. Allowing that right leg, maybe it slides back as the hips settle onto any props that are required. As many pillows as you have on your bed that you need. Inhale, just to lengthen the spine. And again, coming back to that little rock. Lifting towards the left, falling back to center. Really subtle. We're just really signaling those muscles, those tendons, joints, and ligaments, like, hey, we're softening into this shape now. So it's okay to let go. It's okay to enjoy. Find the beauty in every moment. If you found that blanket one side or that pillow, maybe find it this side and come on down into your swan or pigeon pose. Honoring the uniqueness in sides, the uniqueness of how this pose feels each day. How does the breath flow here? Are there any spaces where it tends to get stuck? Can you bring a little more attention, a deeper breath to that area? And settling, surrendering down, enjoying the beauty of this shape. Three more of your deepest, slowest breaths. When that third breath leaves the body, bringing those hands, feeling the texture of your mat or your rug or your floor. Begin to rise. Take a moment at the top. And how are you going to unwind? And nice and easy, do so. Enjoying that shift out of each pose. Maybe stretch that left leg back for a moment. Try not to kick any houseplants behind you. And taking a moment in the middle. One breath here in table. We're going to sit those hips back to child's pose, Balasana. You can always put a blanket on the feet for more space. And a bolster under the chest, between the legs, for more cozy factor. Enjoy this space. Do whatever you need to to invite that in. Where do the hands want to rest? Can you let the belly soften? Can you feel the shoulders release and spread apart and forward? Can you feel the energy, the skin on this low back, slowly spreading, opening, releasing, and softening towards your mat, towards the earth, towards love. If you are here, you are supported enough to enjoy your life. Supported enough to find flow, freedom, creativity, and to express that fully into this beautiful world. Ride the breath naturally for 3. 2. And 1. Stay at the bottom of that breath. Feel the hands on the mat once again. And inhale to push yourself back to tabletop. How does it feel to be back here? Taking any movements from here that feel good and natural and right for you before we move on. I'm going to bring myself to a seat. And I'm going to bring the legs straight out in front of me like so. So I'm elevated on a little blanket here to give my hips, my knees plenty of space to breathe. Make my low back happy. And I'm going to go ahead and grab my pillow. If you have yours, it might be a good idea to have it at the ready. And as you inhale, flex those toes, reaching the heart up. And as you exhale, we're just going to lean forward a little bit. And we're going to kind of rock in and out of this a bit. I'm going to just ride that breath in and out, forward and back. How does it feel here? Signaling to those hamstrings, the low back, back of the knees, the calves even. We're gonna let go into this shape now. Allow it to take you lower and lower until you found an appropriate space to settle down. And only you know where that is, you know when that is. Caterpillar pose awaits you. It's alright if the upper body tends to round forward here, as long as that low back is extended and happy and soft. You might feel spreading sensations. Maybe a stretch down the back of the neck, between the shoulder blades. And what's present in the backs of the legs. What might be asking for a deeper breath, a little more love and attention. one cheek on the mat. Now is a great halfway point to switch to the other one, if that feels good. Take 3 more breaths. Watch them naturally. Wave come into the belly. Wave go out. And when that third breath leaves the body, savor that space. Hold. Bring the hands down to the mat, under the shoulders, and a breath to bring you up. Feel the spine stack, vertebra by vertebra. It might feel good to reach the arms up, gather some energy. And bring that to the low belly, hands, palms on that sacral chakra. Svadhisthasana. Breathe into this moment, into this space you just created. You need to remove the pillow if you've used it. And I'm gonna come to face you guys, and all we're gonna do is bring the legs a bit wider. So I'm still on my blanket, and I'm just gonna bring the legs wide. I'm just gonna begin to kind of rock side to side, kind of twisting my body towards one and the other. My hands just naturally slide up and down the thighs. And eventually, I'm just gonna reach to one side and fold over one leg. Nothing crazy, we're not going to that full extent. You might reach further with that front arm, getting more of a stretch through this low back here, the side. 3. 2. And 1. Maybe you stay low, maybe you rise. I'm just gonna crawl my way to the other leg. And if that front arm feels like reaching further, by all means let it go above and beyond. Breathe. 3. 2. Maybe you crawl to the middle this time. Once again, 3. 2. Let the neck soften. And 1. Inhale to rise. Breathe at the top. When it's time for you to move from this space, we're going to come onto the belly. So I'm going to come back to my tabletop. You can always do a plank. And I'm just going to slowly chaturanga my way down to the belly. Nice and easy. Nice. Hopefully everyone can see me okay. We're going to come to Sphinx pose. So we're gonna bring those elbows forward, those arms forward. So my elbows are under my shoulders. And my hands are directly in front of my elbows. All we're gonna do here is begin to open through the throat, open through the chest, and allowing the shoulders to fall apart and behind us. Spreading that chest open. Maybe you take a little wiggle of the hips here. Feeling the weight in the pelvic bowl pressing to the floor. Feel that space widen. And then I want you to take that right foot and just extend the foot to the sky as if you were stamping your footprint on the ceiling. Notice if the weight shifts, how that feels in that left side versus that right side. And then the other left foot stamps to the ceiling. Feel those subtleties. One more time, each side, your own pace. Keep that heart softly opening. Notice if any discomfort arises, if any tension, sensation comes up into the shoulders or the neck or the jaw. 3, 2, and 1. We're going to bring the elbows out from beneath us and just make a pillow with the hands and bring the face down. And you may windshield wiper the legs side to side, releasing that low back. Rocking and rolling on that pelvic bowl. And find stillness. How does it feel to have left that asana? To rise just a little, not a lot, because all we're gonna do is roll onto our backs. Nothing fancy. Nice. Notice my legs are already bent. Have your pillow handy, or maybe 2 or 5 pillows handy. If you have a yoga block, that works too, or a foam roller. My hands are on my hip bones. I'm just taking a moment. A little bit of wave is going to happen here, but I want you to feel the hands on those hip bones, and then I just want you to press the right hand into the right hip bone. Press the left hand into the left hip bone. So it's a very subtle rock that the hands are inducing here. Just allowing that whole area to flow at the will of the hands. And feel the subtlety. And then you may allow the knees to get involved in more of an active swishing side to side, maybe all the way into twists if that is appropriate for you. How do the hips respond as one hip lifts, as the other grounds? How the soles of the feet feel as they roll to pinky edge side, to big toe side. And go ahead and grab your pillow as you rock those knees to center. We're going to come to a super restorative bridge. So I love the pillow or the bolster because it's softer. We're going to press those feet down, lift those hips up, and place it right on the sacrum. Cozy in. make any adjustments needed. Hands may still rest on the hip bones. Maybe they just feel like flopping somewhere over dramatically, and that is cool. How does it feel to be here? Can you feel the sensation in this pelvic area? The softness, that expansion. Imagining a lotus flower just blossoming, and you can even use the hands as I'm doing, just taking the hands to the low belly and allowing the fingers to come together and blossom up, spreading apart to that lotus mudra. You may begin to play with the legs, bring the right leg up or all the way out, left leg up or all the way out. Maybe you swim here for a while, just taking any final movements that are good and right here. Getting creative, just playing. Let the body guide. Flow with the rhythm of your breath. Like enough. Allowing yourself to begin to settle into a more permanent position. Perhaps you stay here with the hips on your support system. Perhaps you kick them down under the knees or eliminate them completely. We are entering final Shavasana. Letting the hands and the legs flop out as wide as they'd like. Excuse me. Feeling the back of the body sinking towards the earth. Everything settling. Energy settling in that Svadhisthana. Drifting away. This is a lovely place to be. And if you are feeling pure enjoyment, or if you are feeling slightly uncomfortable, can we just allow that? Stay as long as you need to grasp these moments and let them go. Enjoy and let go. You can pause the video here and stay. Or begin to breathe a little deeper. Begin to move fingers, toes. Open the eyes and gaze at the room around you. What catches your eye, your attention? What is good? Nice and easy rolling onto either side. Just taking a moment there to hit your reset button. How do I want to feel today? What do I want to release? Where can I allow myself to flow more? It's okay if nothing comes to you right now. You will. I'll meet you seated. How does it feel to be here in this space? What is left? As you leave this practice, the next most important asana is that step back into our real world, our life, our each and every moment. And I want you to cultivate that space of pure enjoyment, of gratitude for all the beautiful things. We need that now more than ever. I thank you so much for you allowing me to guide you today. And I hope you and your beautiful yogi selves enjoy the sunshine, enjoy the outdoors, if you can.